South Korea, land of the morning calm. Today, perhaps most famous for its pop culture, technological advancements, and delicious food. But this is also a country with over 5,000 years of history and home to some of Asia's most extraordinary natural wonders. Throughout its past, Korea has been careful to preserve its stunning landscapes at the same time as transforming itself into one of the world's most developed nations. In this episode, we travel across some of Korea's most elegant and dramatic landscapes, experiencing them through the changing seasons. In a country that is 70% mountains, we discover how the people of this beautiful peninsula have come to live in harmony with their surroundings. Our journey will take us from Jeju Island in the south, through Jidasan National Park on the peninsula, moving up to Gangwon Province in the north, and then back down the eastern coast to Busan. We start our journey on Jeju Island to the south of the Korean peninsula. This is Korea's most iconic natural hotspot. The entire island is one giant geological park. Formed over 1.8 million years ago from a giant volcanic eruption, Jeju Island is a paradise for geologists and scientists studying the land. Towering over the center of the island is Halla Mountain. At a height of 1,950 meters, it is the tallest mountain in South Korea. Jeju Island was formed by a number of volcanic eruptions, and Mount Halla itself was still active 1,000 years ago. Because of its awe-inspiring presence, people say that Mount Halla is the soul of the island. At its peak, the large crater expands to 3 kilometers in circumference, and the lake here is known as Baekneok Dam, or White Deer Lake. According to legend, benevolent spirits would ride on the backs of white deer along the shores of this lake. And today it is believed that a sighting of this legendary animal will bring great fortune and longevity. Another curious formation of Jeju Island is its unique volcanic cones, known as orums. The word orum originates from the local dialect and is thought to imply a small hill or slope that one can easily climb. Estimated to have existed for over 100,000 years, these volcanic remnants once roared with flame and magma. There are over 360 orums dotted majestically across the whole island. But these dome-like structures do more than just add to the beauty of Jeju. The water stored beneath the Orums is a source of fresh water for the island and its vegetation, which in turn maintains its pristine atmosphere. This Orum is called the Gomun Orum, meaning Holy Mountain. At its center is a horseshoe-shaped crater. At a glance, it seems no different from the next Orum. But the Gomun Orum's lava cave is one of the biggest in the world and is recognized as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. In fact, around 10% of the entire island is registered as UNESCO World Natural Heritage Sites, making this one of the most spectacular islands in East Asia. To the southwest of the island stands another Orum, Sanbang Mountain. Formed over 700,000 years ago and standing at 395 meters high, its unique formation is attributed to the cooling of slow-moving magma, although local folklore tells a different story. The legend goes that one day an archer in the area accidentally shot the Jade Emperor in the backside. The god became so furious that he grabbed the nearest thing to him to throw at the archer. This just happened to be the peak of Mount Hala, which he broke off and hurled towards the helpless bowman. Where the peak landed became Sanbang Mountain. Interestingly enough, the geological composition of Sanbang Mountain and Mount Hala are extremely similar, even though they are thought to have been formed around different times. To the south of Jeju is a breathtaking coastal panorama. The endless waves have shaped these sandstone cliffs for millions of years, and the result is thought to resemble a dragon's head diving into the water. Hence the name, Dragon Head Coast. The cliff has a concave structure which the waves have gradually sculpted over time, forming unique patterns. When seen from the sea, some say that the Dragon Head and Sanbang Mountain resemble a turtle. These cliffs, sculpted by countless waves over the millennia, are Jeju Island's earliest volcanic formations, even earlier than Hala Mountain, and are thought to represent the volcanic birth of the island. To the east of the island is one of the most remarkable dormant volcanoes in the world. This is Songsang Ilchulbong, or the Sunrise Peak. As the name suggests, it is the most famous spot in the Korean peninsula to see the sunrise, and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This massive volcanic stack was created 100,000 years ago from a hydrovolcanic eruption. There are numerous hydromagmatic volcanoes similar to the Songsan Ilchulbong, but there are none of its kind with such a well-preserved tuff cone and diverse internal structures along a sea cliff. Because of these scientific values and remarkable scenery, over 3 million people visit this archetypal tuff cone every year. It is Jeju Island's most cherished natural heritage site. A 180 meters above sea level is an enormous crater surrounded by 99 rock peaks that resemble a large crown. In spring, the peak is surrounded by bright yellow rapeseed flowers, adding to this effect. The Sunrise Peak was once separated from Jeju by water, but as sand and gravel piled up between the two islands, a natural path was formed, allowing easy access to its visitors. Believed to be a holy spot for prayer, the Sunrise Peak offers one of Korea's most serene experiences and is truly a sight to behold. Quite some distance from the Sunrise Peak is Sopji-Koji. The name means protruding land at sea. It is always packed with visitors who come to enjoy the beautiful coastline. It has also been used as a filming location for several successful Korean TV dramas, including the popular TV series All In. This rock tells a sad tale. It is said that the son of the Dragon King fell in love with a nymph here. One day she disappeared, and he was so overcome with sorrow that he turned into this solitary rock and still waits for her today. We now head to the southern coast of Jeju Island, where water and lava have formed some of the most astonishing landscapes. This is the Swesorkak Estuary, which literally translates as a reclining ox. This is the mouth of the Hyodonchon stream that flows down from Mount Halla. As the fresh water meets the ocean, it broadens into a wide, slow-flowing river. The clear water, bamboo trees, and unique rock formations have made this estuary one of the island's most picturesque settings. To best experience the estuary, people ride the traditional Jeju boat, called Taewoo. Although it looks like a simple raft, it was historically an important mode of transportation for Jeju's trade line. One particularly charming feature of Jeju Island is its numerous waterfalls. Over this arched bridge, with nymph sculptures on one side, is the biggest waterfall in Jeju Island, Chunjaeon Falls. Legend has it that 7 nymphs descended from the heavens to bathe here, giving Chunjaeon Falls its name, which means God's Pond. Today, instead of nymphs, the pool is home to marbled eel, which are mainly active at night. Around the falls, a variety of plant life thrives. There are also a number of unique rock formations, which altogether make the falls a picturesque setting. When the water is at peak flow, the 30-meter cascade into the deep pool below is an impressive sight. Some say that this waterfall has the power to heal those who touch its water. And despite it being forbidden to enter the water here, this myth continues to attract scores of tourists. On the coast, not too far from the falls, is Jeju's most famous natural columnar joint. The hexagonal-shaped columns are a natural work of art. Their unique shape was formed when molten lava came into contact with the sea and dramatically cooled and contracted over 20,000 years ago. Each column is up to 30 to 40 meters high. And they run for approximately 3.5 kilometers along the coast. The area also has several other unusual rock formations. Erosion from the ocean waves has created natural stairs in some areas, resulting in the area's original name of Chisake-heian, meaning altar to the gods. Recognized for geological significance as well as its beauty, the area is protected by the UNESCO Global Geoparks. Moving on from these remarkable columns, we discover another unique side of the island. This is Jongbang Falls. It is Asia's only waterfall that falls directly into the sea. It is said that circa 200 BC, Emperor Jin of China sent a servant, Sobu, to fetch the magical herbs of eternal youth from Mount Hala. Though he failed to find the herbs, he encountered Jongbang Falls on the way and left his signature on the cliff wall. But Jeju Island is not only home to volcanic formations. Spread out across parts of the east, west and north of the island is one of Jeju's most important habitats. The Jeju Gotchawai is Korea's biggest evergreen forest and a rich repository of Jeju's ecosystem. Gotchawai means a forest filled with trees, thorn bushes and rocks. It may seem like any ordinary forest, but it is the only forest in the world where southern and northern hemisphere plants coexist. With a plethora of different plants and endangered animals, Gotchawai is widely recognized as the lungs of Jeju Island. One particularly popular natural produce in Jeju is green tea. Over half of Korea's green tea production is made here. The warm climate, high rainfall, and rich minerals in the soil have made Jeju the perfect place to cultivate green tea. Side by side with China's Huangshan and Japan's Fuji Mountain, it is one of the 3 richest green tea cultivation sites in the world. These light green colored teas are famous for their taste and aroma and can be attributed to the gentle winds that blow from Mount Hala, which some say add to the tea's rich flavor. Another local product of Jeju is the mandarin. During the winter, a massive amount of mandarin peel is dried. The people of Jeju place a great deal of importance on mandarin cultivation because the result of each harvest greatly affects Jeju's farming economy each year. Indeed, most of Korea's mandarin cultivation is made here on Jeju. The warm part of southern Jeju is a temperate zone with a tropical oceanic climate. These weather conditions, together with the rich volcanic soils, make Jeju an ideal location for producing sweet, juicy, and low-acid mandarin fruit. Koreans call Jeju Island the home of the mandarin. And with the fruit produced here being seedless and easy to peel, these are some of the most popular mandarins on the continent. The Ole Trail is a walking path that snakes around the island. Started in 2007, the entire length is a total of 420 kilometers with 21 different paths. Favored by many for its stunning scenery and relatively gentle gradients, the Ole Trail has become a much-loved trek for many tourists and Korean walkers. The shortest route can be completed in 3 hours, and the longest takes up to 8 hours. The philosophy behind the trail is to distance oneself from the hectic pace of Korea's urban lifestyle. It is a chance to leave one's stresses behind and to be at one with nature. Therefore, the trail is meant to be enjoyed at a leisurely pace rather than treated as a racecourse. The widespread success of the Ole Trail not only attributed to the boom in Jeju Island's tourism business, but also started a nationwide trail walking sensation. But the true beauty of Jeju can be found on its coastline. The Kimyong Beach, with its emerald sea and white sand, is one of the most spectacular beaches on the island. The strong winds here make it popular with windsurfers and other water sports lovers. Wind generators line the coastline to benefit from these powerful winds. When looking out to sea, these hypnotic turbines blend into the landscape, adding an element of tranquility to the peaceful area. Jeju Island is a volcanic masterpiece created by fire and water over thousands of years. It is Korea's treasure island, filled with a wealth of important natural heritage sites and tourist hotspots. It is a fine example of why Korea is known as the land of the morning calm. We now leave Jeju, heading back to the Korean peninsula to find one of the most significant mountains in the country, the sacred Mount Jirisan. Boasting breathtaking views, Jirisan National Park was the first park in Korea to officially be designated a national park in 1967. Its glorious mountain range extends across 3 provinces and 5 cities. The Ji in the name of Jidisan, or Mount Jidi, is the Chinese character for wisdom. And it is said that even an ignorant man can become wise by spending time on Jidisan. At 1,915 meters above sea level, it is the second highest mountain after Mount Hala at Jeju. The Chunwang, or King of Heaven Peak, is especially striking at sunrise and is increasingly popular in summer and autumn. The Nogodan Peak is one of Mount Jidi's 3 main peaks and is believed to be the home of the mountain goddess. The name Nogodan translates as an altar to a wise and powerful old woman. Since ancient times, this peak has been used as a holy shrine where people performed annual rituals. Since the Korean War that occurred in 1950, people have often come here to offer rites hoping for world peace and the unification of the Korean peninsula. Not far from Nogodan is the site where Fort Goso used to stand. Resembling a crown on the mountain head, the fort is believed to have protected the region for thousands of years. To the north of Fort Goso, and 800 meters above sea level, we discover Samsung-gung, the Three Sages Palace, a site which has been recently developed to celebrate the 3 mythical founders of Korea. It is also a temple devoted to martial arts, meditation, and Korean traditions. The Samsung Palace is a rare sight to see, even in Korea. And those who attempt to revive Korea's most inherent cultural values train their minds here by stacking stone towers. Over the centuries, Buddhist culture has prospered at Mount Jidi. And as a result, there are many cultural assets to be found here. 1,400 meters above sea level, we arrive at Korea's highest Buddhist temple, the Bokgisa. This modest temple with 3-story stone pagodas shrouds itself in the clouds. This is Hwaeumsa Temple. Established in 544 AD by an Indian monk, the temple prides itself on its grand Gakhwangjeon Hall. At the top of these stairs is Korea's biggest stone lantern, standing at 21 feet tall. Both the hall and the lantern are regarded as Korean national treasures and are highly valued in the architecture world. The Hwaeumsa Temple is also one of several South Korean Buddhist temples that offers temple stay programs, where visitors can experience Buddhist culture firsthand. To the west is another ancient temple constructed around the same time. Built by the same monks who erected the Hwaeumsa Temple, the Sa Songam Temple is a true example of of how traditional Korean architecture was designed to be at one with its surroundings. It is believed that the high priests practiced asceticism here. Asceticism is the doctrine that through renunciation of worldly pleasures, it is possible to achieve a high spiritual or intellectual state by rigorous self-denial and active self-restraint. From this viewpoint, we are able to capture spectacular views of the river, mountains, and low-lying clouds. We now travel to the north of the country, where winter has arrived in the Gangwon province. 800 meters above sea level, we come to this idyllic, snow-covered landscape. This is Daegwanryong, located at Pyeongchang in the Gangwon province. Despite the altitude, the terrain here is relatively even, and it is a popular walking spot among hikers. But during winter, the winds can be so strong that it becomes impossible to stand upright. Not a problem for the long line of wind generators, making good use of Korea's abundant renewable energy resource. Because of the particularly heavy snowfall that occurs here in winter, there are many ski resorts near Daegwanryong. And come 2018, this area will be at the center of the world's attention as the greatest athletes from 100 nations descend on Pyeongchang to compete for Olympic glory. Alpensia Ski Resort is the site of the 2018 Winter Olympic Games. Here you will find the best ski slopes in the country, as well as the 160-meter ski jump center. The Pyeongchang Winter Olympics is the third Winter Olympics to be held in Asia, the event having been hosted twice in Japan previously. All competition venues are located within half an hour of each other and are centered around the Olympic Stadium in the Pyeongchang Mountain Cluster. Pyeongchang has been commended for effectively making the best use of the geographical features in the Gangwon province when designing the Olympic venue. It is here that you will find athletes of biathlon, cross-country, and other winter sports coming to practice from all over Korea. Gangneung, which will host events such as the ice hockey and speed skating at the Winter Olympics, is also a cultural site of importance. This palace boasts the best view in Gangneung. Gyeongpo-dae has both a sophisticated roof design, as well as offering panoramic views of Gyeongpo Lake. It is said that this palace was built to host the most prestigious guests visiting the region. And many important ceremonies have taken place here. Many poets and scholars marveled at the Gyeongpo Lake, which was given the name for its clear waters. Near the Gyeongpo Lake are traditional Korean houses nestled among the pine trees. This house was home to the 16th century poet Honan Seol-hun. From an early age, she became recognized as a prodigious poet. Though due to her position as a woman, she was unable to enter into a distinguished position at the time. This is one of Korea's oldest traditional houses, Ojuk-hun. It is the house of Korea's most well-known female artist, Shin Saim-dan. It is also where her son, the greatest Korean scholar of the 16th century, Yi Yi, was born. Both historical figures appear on the Korean currency, and the house itself is a much-loved remnant of Korea's cultural identity. Nearby, 99 traditional Korean houses line up together. These are the most sophisticated and grand houses in the area, once belonging to the aristocracy. And for over 300 years, it has kept its original form. The pavilion built on top of the pond gives us another glimpse at Korea's traditional architecture. The same family that built this house centuries ago still live here, and today it is also used as a hostel for travelers in the area. We now head towards the east coast of the peninsula. The Honhwa Coastal Road is a favorite among motorists. Cutting between the jagged cliffs and great pristine blue of the East Sea, it is one of the most spectacular drives in Korea. A little way down the road, facing the East Sea, is a 1,300-year-old Buddhist temple, Naksan Temple. It is famous for making prayers come true. A white granite statue of Haesu Gwanamsang, known as the goddess Gwanseumbosa, gazes out to sea. At 16 meters high, it was the largest statue of its kind in the Orient when it was built in 1977. At the top of the coastal hill is the Usangdae Pavilion that captures a panoramic view of the entire East Sea landscape. Korea has a strong bond with the sea, and this can be seen across the country's traditional and modern culture. Traveling south now, we come to the perfect example of this. A symbol of the modern coastal city, we now arrive in Busan. Historically, Busan served as the first gateway to international trade for the Korean people. Though it was once home to countless refugees during the Korean War, it has since evolved into the heart of marine culture on the peninsula. In the center of Busan is the main landmark, the Busan Tower. From the 120-meter-high observatory tower, we are able to get an unobstructed 360-degree view of the whole city. In 2012, a lighthouse was installed on top of the tower, and it became the highest lighthouse in Korea, guiding ships safely into harbor. Below the tower is a bridge that has become synonymous with the sorrows of the Korean War. The Yeongdo Bridge that was opened in 1934 was the first and only bascule bridge in Korea. People all over the country were amazed by its design, which allows one side to open up, making way for large vessels. When the refugees of the Korean War escaped to Busan, This was the site where separated families came hoping to find each other. Though much time has passed since, the bridge still draws many visitors thanks to its historical significance. Beside the bridge is another reminder of the Korean War. The Jagalchi market is where the ajumas, or married women, sold fish to take care of their families during the war. Today, the women are still here doing the hard and dirty work of cleaning and processing the seafood. The ajumas are responsible for building up the area into its present form. With its modern, seagull-shaped exterior, it is one of the biggest fish markets across all of Asia. Not so far from the market is the most unique village in Busan. At the foot of the mountain is an array of pastel-colored houses called the Gamcheon Culture Village. Originally, it was known for its poor construction because it had been rapidly built by war refugees. However, the fate of the village changed when locals and artists decided to paint the entire village. Since then, thousands of tourists stop by to catch a glimpse of the vibrant colors. Transformed from the remnants of war, Gamcheon Culture Village is now considered one of Asia's most beautiful villages. We now head down to the main streets of Busan. With a complex roundabout system at its center, this is Somyeon. It is a symbol of Busan's industrial development and is home to a variety of financial, medical, and commercial businesses. Indeed, some of the most influential companies in Korea began here at Somyeon. However, Somyeon's economic growth was only made possible thanks to the Busan port, Korea's economic backbone. The Busan port is Korea's largest trade port, which opened in 1876 and covers 40% of all sea trade exports in Korea, as well as 80% of all container transportation. Its massive size places Korea as the world's 5th largest transporter of goods. Busan's location also provides a geographical advantage of connecting Asia, Europe, and the United States. Connected to more than 100 countries and 500 ports, it is considered Northeast Asia's trade hub. Right next to the port is a gateway to welcome Busan's visitors, the Busan International Passenger Terminal. It is always busy with incoming visitors from neighboring countries. Not far from the port is the most iconic location in Busan, the Taejongdae Observatory. It is well known for having once been frequented by the king for his archery practice. The rolling forest and sheer cliff face paint a dramatic picture. This is the oldest lighthouse in Busan and has been standing for over 100 years. Initially, it was a small and modest lighthouse, but in 2004, it was renovated into the modern design you see here and continues to guide ships into the harbor. Looking northeast out to sea, we find a collection of stunning little islands. These are the Oryuk Islands. Depending on the day and the tide, there may be 5 or 6 islands. All of the 5 islands, except the one with the lighthouse, are uninhabited, Because many ships coming to Busan port pass by Oryukdo Island, it serves as a symbol of Busan's cultural heritage. One aspect of Busan's marine culture that you cannot fail to notice is its beaches. The most famous beach in Korea, Haeundae, can be found to the northeast of the Oryuk Islands. 1.5 kilometers in length, Haeundae Beach is known for its golden sand and shallow shores. Every summer, a whopping 10 million people visit this beach, making it one of Korea's most popular tourism spots. At the end of Haeundae Beach is a very special building. The Nurimaru building is a rendition of the traditional Korean pavilion. As the conference hall for the 2005 APEC Summit, numerous heads of state gathered here. The building is still used for many international meetings and events. Bexco Convention Center is another location where the APEC Summit was held. It is the second biggest convention center in Korea, and since its opening, the center has seen over 50 million visitors. It was the place where the 2002 World Cup preliminary draw and the 2009 OECD World Forum was held. Near the Bexco Convention Center is the venue of Korea's most renowned film festival, the Busan International Film Festival. The big roof that sits on one single column is a thrilling sight, and is in fact in the Guinness Book of Records for being the longest roof of its kind in the world. As we near the end of our journey, we travel to the highest and largest architectural structures in Busan. This area, known as the Marine City, was once a large landfill, but has now been transformed into a complex of skyscrapers. Asia's highest residential apartment can be found here. Just below the Marine City is a yacht racecourse, where the races of the 1988 Olympics were held. And since then, a variety of yacht competitions have taken place here. Beyond the yachts is Gwangan Bridge, stretching a total of 7.4 kilometers. When people think of Busan, many associate the city with this grand bridge. The other most impressive bridge in the city is the Busan Port Bridge. Standing at 3.4 kilometers long, it was built 70 meters high so that the large container ships could pass beneath. But what is most eye-catching about this marine city and its bridges is the night scene. A rainbow of neon light reflecting off the night sea is truly a magnificent view, and a fitting place to end our aerial journey. Korea is home to vast mountain ranges, some of the world's most beautiful islands, and breathtaking coastlines. In this journey, we visited the sublime natural sights of Jeju Island, Mount Jiri's awe-inspiring peaks, the serene and peaceful lands of Gangwon Province, and the beautifully modernized coastal city of Busan. A land full of color, vibrancy, and diversity. This is a country that has managed to harness the power of nature and make the most of the opportunities that these landscapes offer. And with South Korea now one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, it has never been more important to protect its natural heritage for future generations.